Imperial ship. What's your call sign, pilot?
We have to go.
It's
Say something. Come on.
Rogue? Rogue One.
Rogue One? There is no Rogue One.
Rogue One? More like Rogue Fun. Rogue One is Disney's first attempt at a standalone Star Wars film since the company acquired the rights back in 2012. And while it's certainly the most original Star Wars film in over a decade, it would be inaccurate to call it a standalone film. Stands alone about as much as my 8-month-old nephew stands alone. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. Rogue One isn't anything surprising, as the movie's logline has been lifted directly from the opening crawl of A New Hope, and the movie's ending was spoiled by Mon Mothma at the end of Return of the Jedi. Or maybe she was talking about a separate mission to steal a second Death Star secret plans. Rogue 2, anybody? But Star Wars fans aren't interested in surprises anymore. They're interested in nostalgia, something Rogue One shamelessly carries in spades.
Jin, whatever I do it to protect you. So you understand?
The story begins brilliantly with a scene with Galen Erso and Orson Krennic, played masterfully by Mads Mikkelsen and Ben Mendelsohn. It's a scene that implies 3 important things. This movie will be about all new characters doing all new things in all new places, which is especially exciting if you're somebody who found The Force Awakens to be a disappointing retreat, like myself. But then Bail Organa enters stage left and the facade begins to crack. It's great that Jimmy Smits is still able to find work. I was just hoping it would be in a galaxy far, far from this one. But let's get off Jimmy Smits for a moment. God knows Hollywood has. Make no mistake about it, Rogue One might be the most fun you'll have at the movies this year. Its cast of ragtag characters are endlessly watchable, Alan Tudyk's K2SO being the true standout, and Felicity Jones is a delight playing Jyn Erso, who's so much more than just the typical I can take care of myself heroine that Hollywood keeps cranking out time and time again. The film works best when it focuses on telling its own story, and falls flat when it tries to play the part of prologue to the saga's original entry, sprinkling in just enough gaudy fan service to truly miss its mark. Rogue One could have been the first truly great postmodern Star Wars film, but instead, to quote the film directly, chokes on its own ambition. Guess who's forced to say that ghastly pun? Rogue One is also a movie where you'll have an urgent decision to make as a fan of the franchise. A decision about the future of Star Wars and maybe even the future of movies as well. So even if you're not a fan of the Marvel movies or the cinematic universes or the Star Wars, maybe you just like old Fred Astaire musicals and John Wayne westerns, and who could blame you? They're delightful. Listen up, because this concerns you too. Peter Cushing, who's been dead for over 20 years, has been brought back to life by sheer movie magic, and the results are quite jarring. It seems obvious to me that real humans and digitally created ones shouldn't share the screen together. The nuance of a real performance, given by Ben Mendelsohn, will always highlight the limitations of a computer-generated one like cartoon Peter Cushing, especially without the reveries. Couldn't a third-tier character like Grand Moff Tarkin simply be recast without anybody blinking an eye? Designers are getting pretty good at facial prosthetics, and actors are even winning Oscars in spite of them. Why would Disney invest so much money on a technology for a character that could have been played by Gandalf the Wizard? You shall not pass, rebel scum. But perhaps it's Tarkin's second-rate standing that makes him the perfect test subject for this dry run. After all, he isn't the only human character from the original trilogy to be digitized. There is another. But he certainly gets the most extensive amount of screen time. So if digital Tarkin is a way for Disney to read the room without suffering massive blowback, then it's the film's final shot that should serve as a glimpse of where that road, should we decide to travel it, will take us. As with any movie, it's the tickets we purchase that equate to votes cast, and I'm sure Rogue One will get plenty. The questions I posed about the film's larger ramifications were mostly hypothetical, as movie-going audiences everywhere have already predetermined that they're on board. I'm giving Rogue One a B-, as I found it a thoroughly entertaining B-movie. I'm throwing in the minus because I feel that some roads are best left untraveled. Until next time, I'm Clifford Yeddes, and this one's in the can.
hold of this moment. The force is strong.
Make 10 men feel like 100.
We'll take the next chance. And the next. You're all rebels, aren't you?